All right, hello and welcome. My name is David Avery, and I'll be doing a video tutorial for you today on Windows Azure, Microsoft's cloud-based platform. And we're going to be focusing on first how to create your account, and then just some simple things on the actual website itself. But then more importantly, we're going to show you how to link a Visual Studio project to a database on Azure, and also, as a side, how to bring an SQL database onto Azure as well. So first, we'll be using OBS to record this, and finally got that working well. Had to go through settings in the 3D, and actually had to use integrated graphics rather than the GPU on my laptop. So my name is, again, David Avery. I might have said that before. And also my partner, who can't be part of this recording, Jake Yoakum. And we're doing this for Western Oregon University, one of our computer science classes, CS 470. And this is just part of the video tutorial that we have to do, so let's go ahead and get started. So first, we'll just go to azure.com. And then just click on My Account. You can go for try it free as well. And, well, we'll just go ahead and do that. It's a rather simple process. Just go ahead and try it now, and then you'll go to sign up. So again, I already have a login, so I'll just log in. But the process of actually setting up an account is pretty much as you think it would be. Just put in your personal information, you know, your name, email, create an account, all that sort of stuff. So we'll just call that good. But yeah, you're going to put things like your phone number and payment information. So when you start, you'll actually get a trial period for 30 days free, and then after that, you can do what I have is like a pay-as-you-go service. So I want to say that if you only have 5 websites, that will, even as in the pay-as-you-go service, that'll cost you nothing. But having any sort of data, as in a database, that's going to cost you. So we can see in my usage, at least, I think it's probably going to be a couple dollars for this last pay period on there for that. I think I have about 3 different at the moment. So yeah, so let's see, the current pay period. Well, that would be a couple days so far. And again, let's see, it will be, let's expand. Yeah, all database units right there. Yeah, just for the last couple days. So here's why I added another one. So yeah, so that's where you can actually see your billings, usage and billings there. But now we'll go into the management portal where we can actually do stuff. So when you log in here the first time, there's going to be a just simple notifications telling you where things are, probably about 6 pages, 5 or 6 pages I want to say, just clicking you through into how to see stuff. But as you can see, I have quite a few things here. I have a couple web bases and databases, and the default directories are just going to be there by default. So it's pretty easy to navigate. So if you want to create something, we'll just do like a simple website first, just in the compute, and then the data services will be where the databases are. So and then custom create. So the URL that you're going to have, you can choose any so long as it's available, and it's just going to have .azurewebsites.net behind it as well. So you can call it whatever you want. So we'll just call it ours. Test. Spelling is hard. Test tutorial That's good enough. And then there's my subscription. So on the free, it should say the free as well. Pay as you go. And then, well, I don't have to make another database. Give it a second. So, oh, there we go. So it should pop up just with a simple kind of blue page. Don't have anything. Yep, the website has been successfully created, but there's nothing there yet. All right, well, fair enough. And then I really don't need it. So you can go ahead and, whoop, that's another thing. When you click on things, if you actually click on the name, it's actually going to get you into the management, and it's kind of annoying. So if you click over here, you'll just be able to use the menu here at the bottom. So like I said, I don't need this, but it's really simple in the website at least. It's pretty simple in Visual Studio too. But like here's a project for our class, and this is available on through Windows itself. You can find it on the website and this whole tutorial. Yeah, and then we just have this is our website, and then we give it a second to load because it's actually finding database right now. And here's all of the students. It's basically a student database for like a school. Really small, but has some cool functionality. But as you can see, we're actually on the web right now. And if we go to Visual Studio and actually open up this project, we can open our local host, but only we can see that. So run up there. So we'll also just go into a database. Creating one is easy enough. We'll do that. Custom create. So you can give it your own name. Let's give it a test. Really simple. Again, your subscription, and then there's a service types. Again, I want to say for the free, no matter what you choose here, it's still going to be free because you're under that plan. But standard at 250 gigabytes is going to be plenty. I want to say the basic is 2. Okay. And then there are different units here. You can look at that page and actually see what the performance level means. You would think that there'd be an easy way to actually calculate what the DTU really means from these, but you can't really. But this shows you all of the various options within each of those packages. So yeah, standard, fine enough. And then here you can create a new server or link to one that you already have. So if you go to create a new server, then it's actually going to take you to the next page, and it actually should do the same with the other one, and you'll just have to log on to that server later. So if we want to create a new one, all you have to do is give yourself a login name, a password, and confirm the password and where you want to host that. Free region, ours would be West US, but like I said, I already have enough of those. So if I want to, I can just put it on one of these two and then actually log in. But I'll just show you what one of those looks like from inside. So if you actually click on it and then you go to design your SQL database, you'll actually be able to go and see it. And you have to enable it and then actually allow pop-ups for the website as well. Yep. And we'll just click it again. Activate Silverlight. At least on my computer, I do this all the time, but no matter if I exit my profile every time, I still have to do those every time. Kind of annoying, but that's okay. So log on to the server. And then if you have multiple databases on the server in this next window, you can choose. So yeah, so for this project, let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It appears to be 7 different tables, and then it tells you basically the elements in each. So let's see. So here in the columns is where you can actually put the data elements in, not the actual data. Really simple to add a column and all that, and your dependencies. In the data, it's really simple if you just want to add a row. Just got some data in there. And then you can do a simple query too. So let's just go ahead and see everything from enrollment. I have to do DBO, or no. Yep, and then it just shows you everything that's there. So you can obviously do more complex queries in there, but this is also going to cost you money as well. Again, not in the free subscription, but this is an actual query that runs, so it's going to cost you some computing power. Yeah, so it's kind of neat. But otherwise, yeah, I don't need to save that. All right, so that's the actual management portal itself. Pretty easy to navigate. So now let's actually go into Azure. Wow, I'm sorry, Visual Studio, and try and actually link this to Azure. So this is the project that I just showed you a second ago. So we want to run that on our local host. Let it build. All right, all well and good. So as you can see, we're running our local host right now up here in the address bar. So we can only see this on our machine, but we want to go ahead and upload this online. Well, that's easy enough. On your actual project, all you have to do is go to Publish, and then you'll have to actually make a profile. And if you want to, you can actually download a profile for the website as well. Trying to remember where that is. Start project. No. Oh, yes, websites. Have to be in the right place. Yeah, you can download a published profile, and then this will have all the information that you already need in it. And then you have to find it within Visual Studio as well. And then, yeah, you just click import, find it. Really simple. Otherwise, you can go ahead and create one in here as well. And you just have to know all of your connections. And this is where if you actually just download the profile, it's pretty simple. And then so, oh darn, gotta sign in. It's giving me troubles that recently. So after you get your connection set, you can actually validate the connection that it exists. Forgot about that. It's probably an important step. All right. And then the settings, release. And then here's where you actually figure out database information. So this is already linked to Azure, so it already knows what to look for. And the profile should give you that as well. But if this isn't at Azure to begin with, basically, when you execute code first migrations, that'll actually create the database in Azure from Visual Studio. So it links to this server, and then with execute code first migrations, it'll actually create the database for you. So if you find it easier to create your databases, say in Visual Studio, then you can go ahead and actually put them on Azure by using this. And then I want to say that the runtime, yeah. So Code First Migrations will actually create it for you. And then the database connection, same thing. And then the update database should work, but I've always had troubles with that. So if I really ever had a big issue, if the database was still good in Visual Studio, and it was having trouble like trying to override the original one, well, in the management portal on Azure, I would just delete it and then try again. And then if you want to, you can preview all the files that are actually going to be written, but it's not going to actually show you the website itself. So if you click Publish, then your actual build is going to go, and then it's going to create the website for you. So that's all, again, kind of self-explanatory. So if you do download the profile from Azure, it's all pretty easy because all the information is already there. But there are some problems that can happen with the actual database itself. So another route that I've found that works is from Visual Studio. If you actually find the database in your actual file index, and then upload that into SQL Server, and then from SQL Server you can actually upload the database into Azure as well. And then instead of trying to upload the database into Azure, you can actually just publish it in Visual Studio to that database. So in your Server Explorer, if you look for your local one, and then I've had troubles with it because I moved it around, but when you actually click on it, it'll give you all the information in the properties down here, and it'll actually tell you where that MDF file is. So for instance, at least for this one, these are what the two files will look like. You'll have a MDF file and a log file. And then wherever those are, wherever it tells you, if you open up SQL Server, I just want to actually log on to my local one. Under databases, if you just go to attach, and then it's going to want an MDF file location. And where the MDF and the log file, they have to be in the same directory. So let's go ahead and add one. This is on my desktop. It's not the nicest navigation. Yeah, so you already put that in there. So I'll just show you where that one is real quick, since I already know where that is. Yeah, so here I actually have the MDF file and the log file. And again, it's only going to want to find the MDF file, but the log file has to be there as well. So just click OK. Alright, well, that was unfortunate. I wonder if that is... Well, let's go ahead and remove that one first. Maybe that was the problem. Well, indeed, that was the problem. So I already had loaded it into SQL Server, so that was apparently what it was reading it from. So it was already in its directory, so couldn't change it again. But again, when I found that when I put the MDF file, it also found the log file as well. So if we just want to bring that into SQL Server, you can see that it showed up, and then we have all of our tables with our information in it. So that's great. So then the next part is we want to, so if you just right click on our database and go to tasks, and then we can deploy the database to Windows Azure SQL databases. So just get this screen, and the only real one we do anything with is deployment settings. So you won't be able to do anything yet, but we have to find our server connection. So this is where we're actually going to put the database. So it would look like you're logging into SQL Server again, but here we want to actually go to one of our servers that we have on Windows Azure. So we'll click on that, SQL Server Authentication, and then we'll just go ahead and log into that server. Call it good. And then I already have Kentucky University 1 on there, which we can actually see in our management portal. So I'll call that 2. And deploy the web, and then should be good. And here's a summary of everything that's going to go on. So we'll go ahead and let it try that. And I think this will take at least a minute if I remember right. So we'll just go ahead and wait for that. Perhaps fancy video editing would put music in here, but oh, we're not fancy here. All right, so it appears that everything was a success. So let's go back into the management portal. Go ahead and reload it. And look at that. There's our database that wasn't there on Azure before. It was only on SQL, and we brought it in. So let's actually go ahead and look at it and see if we still have everything that we think we should have in it. And lo and behold, we do. Wonderful. You see that we still have all of our data. And if we really wanted to, we can actually go ahead and look at the data itself. Voila. So yeah, so if you have trouble, that's one way that you can do it. And then actually from Visual Studio, when you try and create a new website, instead of executing code first migrations in your publish profile, you don't have to click that because it doesn't need to make a new database. You're just linking to it. And again, if you try and use the profile from the Azure portal and then bring it into Visual Studio, it's all pretty easy because there will be a server that you want to connect to and then the database within that server that you want to use. Then it's all pretty nice actually. And I don't claim that there are going to be other problems, but that was one way to actually get it to work. So otherwise, I hope that this helps you out to some degree. This was one of my first recordings, so little hit and miss, but that's okay. Again, my name is David Avery, and my partner was Jake Yoakum, and this was for CS470 of Western Oregon, the fall term of 2014. Again, I hope this was helpful, and onward we go.